Being a great isolation scorer starts from the moment the ball touches your hands. So for Kyrie, the first option is always to see if he has enough space to knock down an easy jumper. Outside of catch and shoot shots, the best way to score and put pressure on the defense without even having to dribble is by having an effective triple threat game. Now there are two things that you absolutely have to be able to do from the triple threat. One is jab step to create a shot, and two is either rip through, sweep, or use any combination of pivots and fakes to blow by your defender and get to the basket. Being able to do both of these is what keeps the defense honest. So now, when you jab step, the defense has to decide. Do they back up to stop the drive, or do they stay close enough to stop you from shooting? That is the dilemma that you want your defender to be faced with every moment that you have the basketball. Now, one extremely important tip to focus on that will improve your ability to blow past defenders and also improve your jab step is to focus on the angles that you take when you attack your defender. The first step to getting a good driving angle is making sure you go directly at one of the defender's feet. A lot of people are taught to attack the top foot, but the back foot works just as well. The whole goal is to make sure that the defense has to turn and open their hips in order to try to get back in front of you. Now let's say the defense is able to stay with you or get back in front to cut you off. This is where counters come into play. And the first and most basic counter to a drive is the pull-up jumper. There are two things to look for to know the perfect time to use a pull-up. One, you get the defender to turn their hips and now they're trying to sprint and recover to cut you off. And two is if you see there's a help defender or you're just not able to get all the way to the basket. Being able to score from the mid-range is super important for isolation players because it just gives the defense another thing that they have to worry about. So now a defender has no idea if you're going to catch a shoot, get all the way to the basket, or stop somewhere in between for a shot. Now, even though these three moves seem super simple, they're actually extremely effective and the main foundation for any isolation player. But as effective as they are, there will always be times throughout a game where a defender is able to take all three options away from you. So let's look at some more of the counters that Kyrie's able to use to still get off clean looks throughout a game. With the next being the step back jumper. This is a great move to use anytime you need to create extra space to get off a shot. As an offensive player, there are a couple things you want to look for to know when it's the perfect time to use the step back. Similar to the pull-up jumper, once you see a defender turn their hips and overreact to a drive, that's a perfect time to use their momentum against them and step back for an easy jumper. Now the next best time to use a step back is anytime you have the defense on their heels. This can come from you doing a move to get them to back up or from contact that's created during a drive. Another counter that uses the defender's momentum against them is the punch dribble. Anytime you see the defense trying to recover, you can use the punch dribble to stop on a dime while they overslide. Then from there, you can just raise up into a shot or step back to create even more space. The key is to make sure that you always sell the drive first. An alternative to the punch dribble that you can use is the snatch back. And it doesn't have to be a crossover. It can be behind the back, it can be under the leg, doesn't really matter. What matters is the same, that you sell the drive, and once you see the defender trying to cut you off and beat you to the spot, you can get low, snatch back, and then rise up for a shot. Now the last counter from Kyrie that we're going to look at is the spin move. And this is going to be used anytime that the defense is able to successfully cut you off from a drive. And you'll know it's time to use it because they're able to put their entire body in front of you, which means that if they're standing in front of you, once you spin, there's no way they can recover again to the other side. So being able to spin on balance and then go straight up into a shot will make you extremely hard to guard. Once you have all of these moves in your bag, you can start to string them together and create crazy combinations that make you completely unguardable. The key is to remain patient and give yourself time to read the defense. Allow them to make mistakes, and then from there you take advantage and score every single time. And with that being said, my final piece of advice is to remember that every move has a counter and every counter has a pump fake. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as well as check out my basketball training app that is linked in the description below. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for checking out the Watch and Learn Hoops Academy.